This clip is brought to you by Vivo Barefoot Shoes. Not only do these shoes look good, they perform even better. Enjoy this clip.
Does change happen without trauma? Because I feel like, Bobby, you were talking about, what was that study you were talking about, or the Harvard guy?
Change happens without trauma, I think, for people that are that have experience prior with probably a trauma. So based off of previous history, like, I don't want to fucking go through that again.
Right.
And then so you can figure it out from
like
there.
A controlled trauma, like out there in the gym, you put a couple racks on your back. That's trauma to your body in a controlled sense, like
self-inflicted. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't do it yourself, it's going to happen to you nonetheless. But sorry, what was the?
Yeah, I think I could get this wrong, but I think this was Tim Bilyeu, one of the guys that Tom Bilyeu, sorry, that helped start Quest and everything. I think he was interviewing somebody who was like one of the most renowned psychologist from Harvard, or he was at least witnessing this conversation where they asked, like, hey, can people change? And this is the guy that's been studying change his whole career. And the guy said, after the age of 25, not really. And then so Tom goes, what, are you telling me everything I do is like a waste of time? Like, should I just shut down impact theory? Is it all over? Or what you guys do? And he said, unless there's trauma. And I kind of agree with that. In a sense, because I think about all the people who, man, they tried to lose weight, and then boom, something happened, and they lost 80. And the first thing I want to talk to them about has nothing to do with how they lost their weight. I want to like look them in the eyes and say, what happened to you? Like, what changed in your life that made it work this time? And they almost always have a story. Like, I got divorced. My mom died. You
could say who hurt you to anybody, and they'll start crying.
Yeah. But
how'd you know?
How'd you know? That's right.
Everybody.
They'll say that too.
Yeah.
But it's the impetus sometimes for change. And I thought, well, that is kind of depressing that we have to go through trauma. So I thought, but I do think there's some hope for people that don't go through trauma, but they have to have some self-awareness. This is like the self-inflicted trauma, whether it's just moving to a new location, you've never left your town that you're from, or going to swim and you're deathly afraid of water.
I'm glad you cleared that up.
Doing hard things.
Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up, because I think in each person's head, they're thinking of trauma being a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe one person's thinking of a breakup, another person's thinking of finding out a family member has a disease or having someone die. Like, it doesn't always have to be those things.
Correct.
It could be just that you got yourself uncomfortable with a new situation.
I think a sauna could be trauma, honestly. Like, I mean, there are grades of like heat exposure. Get better, be more tolerant to stress and strain. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also just self-awareness. You know, how big is meditation in like the online space in the last 10 years? You know, how much is they're telling you, CEOs and business owners, like, you need to meditate. Everybody told me to meditate for the last 10 years. And it's like, well, what do they get from meditation?
I don't want to meditate.
What do you get from it? It's like, well, you might just finally stop scrolling or stop thinking whatever just pops into your consciousness at any moment and reflect for a second. And that can just maybe be enough to be a micro trauma for you to say, I should actually probably go to the gym.
We were talking more recently about being hyper-focused on self-improvement and personal development, and how that rabbit hole can be something that, like, you're so overly obsessed with it that you're almost paralyzed, because you're kind of thinking of all these different things that you should be doing all the time. And then you get like a little bit of anxiety over like, oh, I was supposed to do those kettlebell swings, and I got the Goda movements, and I got the movements that I learned from Nsima, and I got the movements that I learned from these guys and that guy. And it's just like, after a while, it can be kind of overwhelming.
There's this, John Vervaeke is a cognitive science, University of Toronto, tenured guy, brilliant professor, was talking about what the definition of intelligence is. And he says it's a general problem solver. And if you become too specific of a problem solver, you become blind to a lot of things. And so self-improvement, I mean, I love that train. Please self-improve. But like, if you neglect your wife, your daughter, like your job, like, so it becomes a general problem solver. And there are times I think you do need to focus absolutely on specific things, but the more intelligent people are actually more general problem solvers. And I was like, it's absolutely true in line with what you're saying.
Power Project family, a lot of the guys in the audience said that they hate me whispering, so I won't whisper anymore. I'll just whisper here again. So go ahead and comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out all our sponsors here in the bio or the description. Okay? All right. Bye.